everyone. Great to have you all here. I'm thrilled to be doing this demo for you on TruMarket. Most of you who are here, I know, so it's great to see you all again. This is the first time I use this platform, use the Vimeo live platform. So I hope everything goes well. If there are questions or anything, I believe you can just ask the questions in the chat. And our team is with us here. Kelsey's going to help me kind of moderate, and yeah, I'll get started with the demo. It's probably going to take the full hour. There is quite a few things I want to show you. So I'm going to share my screen here, and Kelsey, if you can let me know once my screen is showing, I would appreciate that. So can everybody see my screen here? I'm hoping you can. So I'd like to introduce you to TruMarket. TruMarket is a platform that we've spent years building out. We get asked often, well, what is TruMarket? And if I could simplify it, TruMarket is effectively a lead management tool that is also a CRM, that is also a quote bind issue tool. Excuse me. It's a whole lot in one platform. I'm going to start the demo from the web world because I kind of want to walk you through the experience to showcase really what the power and the capabilities are for TruMarket. So what you're seeing in front of you here, excuse me, is a demo website. You land on best insurance, and this would be the client landing here, and the client wants to get a quote. So let's say the client wants to get a home insurance quote. And so we're going to click on home insurance, and we're going to land on the home insurance page. That's great. So we're going to go and request a home insurance quote. So I'll just let that load. Okay, I'm going to fill in, get rid of that. I'm going to fill in some information here. Sharif Jamail, I'll put my email address here, sharif.jamail@gmail.com, and I'll put my phone number. Then I'm going to put my address. So this is just simulating a client who is on a brokerage website getting a quote. And let's start. Okay, so it's taking the client through the first step of the process here, and now they're going to go to the next step of the process. I'm going to take a moment here to I'm going to bring my screen here. See if I can get this. Do a shared screen. Okay, so now I've got a split screen here, so you guys can see this happening in real time. So what you'll notice is as soon as the client started submitting a quote request on the broker website, you'll see the request will have come into the platform right away. So you can kind of see here, there's this request, the get a quote request. And I'll continue here doing the side by side. As soon as the client started entering in some information on the website, that information was instantly captured into TruMarket here. And I'm gonna continue through the process here. So I'll put in my address, and I'll answer some questions. Let's just say my house is owned, and I've been there for 4 years, and I've got no claims. And I'm now going to get a quote. This is a quote request. You'll see on the left side how as soon as the client entered in the information, that information was instantly entered into the TruMarket platform, giving you a real-time experience. I'm going to do one more kind of request to showcase some of the power of the platform, and then I'll jump right into the full demo of the platform. Gonna go here, whoops, gonna go back to the main page on the site, and I'm gonna get another quote, but this time I'm gonna get a motorcycle insurance quote. So I'll let this load up here. So the first thing that the client sees here is some questions, some underwriting questions, or the knockout questions. See if this client actually qualifies for a quote or not. Privacy statement, great. Let's start the quote. I'm going to refresh back here, and I'm going to go back into TruMarket. And what you're going to notice is as soon as the client started that request, the request already appeared in TruMarket, and it's already capturing the data that is being entered from the website into the platform here. So I'm going to go through this request quickly as well to show you a little bit of a different experience. Put my phone number here and email address, and next. And then it's going to ask me for some information regarding the motorbike that I'm getting a quote on. So I'll just select some information here. Again, this is just a demo environment. Select the model. And as soon as I selected the model, you'll see that it instantly populated the engine displacement of the bike plus the value. Client says, I don't think that's the value of my bike. I think my bike is 28,000. Great, so they enter in 28,000, put the postal code that the bike is parked in, and we're just gonna go down the easy path here, private lock garage, and next. Okay, so now we're in the last step here, and you see here, if I come across to TruMarket, you'll see that that information has come into the platform almost instantly. Even from the broker's perspective, so the left side, what you're seeing is the broker's perspective. We integrated this with Kelly Blue Book, and it told the broker that the Kelly Blue Book value of the bike is, $25,499, but the client entered in $28,000. That's probably a good opportunity for the broker to enter to ask some underwriting questions and dig in a little bit deeper as why the client thinks that their bike is worth more than Kelly Blue Book says. So I'm just going to keep going through the last part of the experience here. I'll put a driver's license number in, and I'll just say I've had my license for 15 years and I've been riding for 15 years. Again, just going easy path, no tickets and no claims. Okay. So what you're going to see on the right side here is, again, a little bit of a different experience. The client is getting a quote on the right side here. And you're going to see a price appear for the client, and you'll see that almost at the exact same time, that price appears for the broker as well. It's never happened before that a broker and a client can interact on the same form, on the same application form in real time. Even if the client says, oh, I don't know if I like this price very much. I want to see if I can get a better price. I'll up the deductible. I'll requote. On the left side, you're going to see it'll say waiting for price. That means something changed on the front end, an input changed. Then the price reappears here for the broker and reappears here for the client, again in real time. As the client was going through that application process, imagine if on the website there was a pop-up that came up and said, hey, we see that you're working on a quote, can we help you out? And now both broker and client are engaging on the same quote at the same time. So let me make the screen a little bit bigger here, and I'll enter the TruMarket platform and showcase TruMarket and all its capabilities. So like I said, TruMarket is a lead management tool. It is a CRM, and it's a quote bind issuance system. It handles all lines of business, both personal lines and commercial lines, and I'm going to showcase a lot of that throughout this demo. When a broker first lands in the platform, this would be the first screen that they would see here. This is called the request screen. In our world, although we call it a lead management tool, it's actually a request management tool, because in a broker's world, there's so many different types of requests that a broker gets. There's new business requests, which are kind of these leads. There's change requests, there's billing requests, there's claims requests. There's a lot of different types of requests. So you can get the requests as they're coming in from different sources, so that the broker can see them here. You can see it in a in a standard list view here, or you can see it in a Kanban board view. So depending on the request and the status of the request, you'll be able to kind of get a visual to see, what status each request is in, if it's been quoted, if it's been won, lost, unqualified. Again, all CRM-like and lead management capabilities. I'm going to go back here to this screen here. Um, Adding a new request into the platform, if it didn't come in from online, or let's say that the client called, is pretty simple here. So the first thing I want to demo here is getting a home and auto quote, because one of the things that we built into the platform is rating, is personal lines rating. So the ability to get a home and auto quote through the platform, similar to what you would get through ARS or PowerQuote or IntelliQuote. We've built out that functionality built right into the platform. So I've submitted the request type. It's a new request. I'm going to search for my client. If the client exists in the platform, it'll give you the options. If the client doesn't exist, well, you can go ahead and create that client right in the platform here. So I'll create this client real quick, and I'll just put my email address, just a fake email there. And all of this is configurable. So if I want to configure the different sources, we just kind of picked some random sources here. And if I want to assign this to Sharif Jamail, the account manager, and add, now that client has been added, and I can go ahead and create this request. So what you're looking at here is the quote request screen for getting a combined home and auto quote in one fell swoop. You'll notice that the application is not a very long application, but you'll have the full ability to get a full home and auto quote through the platform here. I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna go and grab a driver's license number here. Whoops, sorry. I need to go into my Teams and get my notes for a fake driver's license number here. I had closed it so I don't get notifications, but it turns out that I need it. So give me 1 second. Okay. Grab a fake driver's license just so I can show you what are some of the capabilities inside the platform. So this is a fake driver's license number that I'm going to put in here. We've integrated the platform with different external services such as CGI. We're in the process of integrating with Dash and other services as well. So just by putting in the driver's license, it's doing a pre-fill, and it's starting to pull information into the platform. You'll see that it grabbed the applicant name here. It's put in the applicant's date of birth. It put in the address that it found in the Auto Plus. It even populated the vehicles that it found there, home information, and any of the fake drivers that were in that Auto Plus. So I'm going to go through, and we're actually going to do a quote here. So to kind of showcase it, it is a demo quote. Select some information here. I'm going to put this address back in because, and I usually tell brokers that you want to re-enter that information there, because the information that comes in from CGI or any external sources could be formatted in a whole bunch of different ways. And just to keep the formatting of your data consistent, re-enter search the address and kind of enter it in there. Do you own or rent your property? This is a question that we inputted into the process. This is how we can do a combined home and auto quote, just by asking a simple question like this. After verification of address, gives you the opportunity, you'll know right away, do they own, do they rent? And the system can adjust accordingly to either offer a home quote or a tenant quote in one fell swoop. You can put current property information if they have it, current auto information. It kind of pre-populated some of it from the Auto Plus there. And now we jump down to the risk cards here. So this is the information that was pulled from the Auto Plus. I'm going to delete some of these risks here because we don't need them all. And I'm also going to delete some of these fake drivers here because I don't want to have to go through every driver, just to simplify the quoting process here. So you'll notice that the cards here are in yellow. And we did that purposely because yellow means we want the broker to review any of the information that's already been pre-populated into the platform. So I'll start at the driver level. If you open up the driver card, you'll see that a lot of the information has already been pre-populated from what we found from the pre-fill through CGI. If you want to request an Auto Plus or an MVR, requesting it is really simple through the platform. Click on Request Auto Plus. Excuse me, and it's going to pull the Auto Plus into the platform. You'll notice that even how we reimagined how the Auto Plus looks is quite different than what most brokers are used to. Most brokers are used to that really ugly Auto Plus PDF that comes in from CGI, and they have to train people on how to read those Auto Pluses. Well, we made it a little bit more visual here where you can see the risks and if there's any claims associated with those risks. And just by opening up the different tabs, you get much cleaner version of the Auto Plus information that's there. So here's all the vehicles that were found on there, who were the principal operators. Here's all the claims that were reported, fault percentage. Again, just a lot cleaner and neater, making it easier for the user to view. Even the MVR, if you request an MVR to bring it into the platform, again, much cleaner, much neater view. A lot easier than how most brokers have to read this information right now. So once we've verified the information, there's some information here that is required. I'm not going to fill it in right now because I'm going to show you another feature here. But once you've kind of verified that information there with the client, that's great, and you are done. And you'll notice that the card is now not yellow anymore. It means you've done your review. You've got your Auto Plus and your MVRs that you've pulled. Great. Let's go back to the autos because we're going to review the autos. Same kind of thing. It's already, with the VIN number, it's already brought in a lot of the information for that vehicle in the system. You just want to verify a bunch of the information. And once you've verified it, like where it's parked and whatnot, done. And again, it is it's not yellow anymore, which means it's been reviewed. Same thing with the home. On the home side, we've integrated it with Opta. So again, just with the address here and get info, it pre-populates a lot of the information, including bringing any images here. This is a dummy account, so there are no images in this case here. But it's pre-populated a bunch of the information, including the homeowner's type, and we defaulted it to comp form. And then you would just go and again verify, the information that's been pre-populated through the platform. The whole point is we want to populate as much of the information as possible that we can find, so that we can get brokers moving through this process much faster than what they're kind of used to right now. You verify the information, you're good to go. It's not yellow anymore. And then I'm going to go get a quote. And what you're going to see is right away, I got an error because there was a bunch of information that I missed that didn't allow me to advance getting a quote. So let me go through and see what are the errors. Well, if you remember all the questions that were there, you'll see the application is actually shrunk to only the 4 questions that are missing to be able to advance a quote. This is a pretty unique feature on the platform. It shows that all of our applications on the platform are dynamic forms. So the application can change based on, I can make it dynamic based on errors. So here it's shrunk and it only showed the questions that were missing in this situation. Or if I've got a situation where I have different questions that are being asked. Um, for example, here I'm in the error here, so I'll close that so I can expand this form again. Um, if I have a pleasure use, then great. It'll ask me for my annual kilometers and my purchase date. If I select commute, it's going to change, and now it's going to ask me another question, which is the commute kilometers. If I select business use, again, now it's going to ask me for my business kilometers. So because it's a dynamic application, the broker should only have to fill out whatever information they need. They don't need to see the entire question set for what they, if it's not applicable to them. I'm going to put my purchase date here. I'll just select, any date and done. Okay, so I've still got an error here on my home. Let's see what are the questions that it was asking. The home type is, I'll just put here that it's detached, and the basement status, say it doesn't exist, and this is gas, and the construction code is wood, sure, and done. Now my home is done, and my drivers, there's one left here. So it's asking for my license class. I'll just put G, and I'll just put married, sure, and done. Here it's asking for the effective dates of the policy. I'll select, let's say I want the policy to be effective in 2 days, and it defaults to 1 year. You can change that, but we default it to 1 year. And now you're ready to get a quote. So it shows successful here. And now it's going out into the system and getting quotes from the various markets. The way we get quotes is in one of 3 ways. So this is pretty unique to our platform. The primary way that the system goes and gets a quote is through direct carrier APIs. So we've already integrated with a few carriers. We have a list of carriers that we are working through integrations right now, and that's most of the largest carriers: Wawanesa, Aviva, Echo, CAA, SGI, Travelers. We are working in talks with Intact as well to bring Intact in. So those are kind of direct carrier APIs that we're bringing in. So it pretty much guarantees the accuracy of the rate. The second way we get a rate is we've built in a third-party rating engine into the platform. So that engine is RateWorks, which is the base engine for Power Quote. So that's the second layer of rating in the platform. And the third level of rating is AI rating. So we've built the industry's first AI rater. Most of you have already seen that AI rater and some of the capabilities of it, especially with some of the AI tools that we've built out already that some of you are using, like Retention X-ray. We can predict the accuracy of a quote with this much data that we've collected. The quote accuracy is north of 96%. Which is a really high degree of accuracy. But because in this case, because it's a demo environment, it's not actually talking to any of the rating engines or the APIs, and there's a bunch of errors that we'll see here. That's in the error logs here. So it'll say that there are corrections that need to be made because I didn't fill out all the information as it is. But you'll know that if it's Trudy is our AI quoter. Anytime it shows you a range, it means that AI has played a part in the quote. And because we had information for both the home and the auto, you'll see that it provided a home quote here, as well as an auto quote here, and it showed you the ranges, kind of the range between it. The whole point of the tool is you kind of saw how fast I was going through that application, even though a bunch of the information would have returned an error back from the markets, because you really got to go through those applications to get it quite accurate. Even without that level of detail, I can still get an indicative quote really, really fast. And part of the pain point for brokers is they can spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get a quote, especially if it's a combined quote, a home and auto quote. And if a broker has a bind ratio of 30%, which is a really high bind ratio, that means for every 10 quotes that they're doing, they're binding 3 out of 10 of those quotes. Well, if each quote is taking half an hour, that's 5 hours of effort to do 10 quotes. And 7 out of 10 times, the client is either saying, well, that price is kind of high. I can find something better. You guys are out to lunch. Or the client says, that's pretty close to what I'm paying right now. Thanks, but I'll stay where I am. So you've just spent, 5 hours, an hour and a half of it actually netted you a policy, 3.5 hours of effort just for, kind of the tire kickers. So the whole point of the platform is when you're kind of trained and you know how to go through the application relatively quick, we've timed it out. You can get a full home and auto quote combined, multiple vehicles, multiple dwellings as well, sub 5 minutes. That's kind of unheard of in the insurance industry. Even if you're not giving the firm quote, if I go to my client, I can say, listen, I can get you both a combined home and auto quote for between $5,200 and $5,500. You're kind of within 10%. You like that price? Yeah, great. Okay, now let's go through all of the questions that I need to go through to get you that firmed up quote. But here I'm able to get you something really, really, really fast. That is kind of the home and auto experience. There's a couple of other things I wanted to show you, which is pretty cool. I'm going to create another request here, but this one is a little bit different. Most of you in your brokerages on the commercial side of the world, you have would typically have a generic application for someone who's looking to get a commercial quote that you'd send to them. They would fill out kind of this generic application form, and that would form the basis of a submission. Unless you've got carrier, a carrier app, because you know who you're, placing the business with for a certain class of business, then you would send that to the client, they'd fill it out, and then you'd put together your submission to the market from there. Well, what we did here, and again, it kind of shows the flexibility of the platform and what it can do. We just created a generic general liability form. I'll just select a client here. I'll do a test. And what I wanted to showcase in this case, again, you can kind of go with the client and fill out this generic application form, all fine, but we've created a feature inside the platform which is fully configurable and can be configured on just about any application in the platform. We've created this feature called the share request. So I'm going to share this with Erin, who is one of my colleagues. I'm going to share it to her personal email address. I'm missing something here. And I'm going to share this application. And I'm going to say this application expires in a couple days. So what's going to happen, and I can't hear Erin right now at all, so I'm hoping that she sees this and is getting this this request. Erin is gonna get this request shared with her, and effectively what she's gonna get is either a snippet of this request, if I've configured it like that, or the whole application request. In this case, it's a demo, so we're just sharing the whole thing. Erin will get an email that says, hey, you've had an application shared with you. She'll get that application. She'll have to verify her identity. Security is kind of a big deal for us. And it'll prompt her to do a one-time password. And Erin will see the exact same screen that I'm going to see here, but it's just an instance for her. She won't have access to anything else. She'll just be able to see this application here. And when Erin accesses the information and she starts entering in information on her side, you'll see the information will come in here in live time. I'm trying to delay a little bit to see if she's actually getting this to be able to demo this, because we did test this out before
She did.
before we went live on this. She did receive it? Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So she's probably getting that right now. She's going to log in, and as she enters information in on her side, you'll see that information is going to populate on the broker side. So this presents a really interesting opportunity for a broker and a client to be interacting again on the same application at the same time. We can configure any kind of application on the platform if you want certain carrier apps, if you want your own apps or whatever, and be able to share that in real time. What this prevents is duplicate entry effectively, because one time Erin will enter that information on her side, and then um, it'll instantly come into the platform, similar to the experience that I showed with the website. How, oh, there we go. Erin's entering in some information. She put in her name. Um, she'll probably put in her address, and as soon as she enters it in, it'll come into the platform. And there it is, 1292 Premier Street, North Vancouver. She put in her phone number. So again, it's interacting in real time. Really cool feature. Um, Anytime you want to share any kind of application with the client, now there's no duplicate entry, and from here you can create your submission. We can customize how that submission looks. So you kind of take this information, create the submission, and you can share those submissions with the carriers right from within the platform. It saves a copy here, they get a copy, and if they respond to it, we actually capture that information right back right back into the platform. I see a question here from Ken in the chat. He's asking, just in case I missed it, are the rates available to anywhere each company does business? And the answer is yes, right across the country. I think we do have some limitations in Quebec, but otherwise, yes, rates are available right throughout the country with just about every market. Excuse me. If there's a certain market that you're looking for, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we can let you know if that market is built in. But just about every market is in there. So that's the commercial share request. The last thing I want to show you, and I'm going to show this to you in kind of a real environment, just because again we're showcasing the sorry, in a dev environment, but an actual uh, use case that we did. So we were approached by a brokerage. This would be one of the largest brokerages in the world. They had a unique situation where they have associates that, for different lines of business, and they had approached us because they're cyber associates globally. When they are doing quotes, they need to do quotes through multiple markets, and cyber is a really complex product. It's big applications. Every market has a unique, kind of question set, and then unique rating, and that rating is constantly changing because it's not really that mature of a market. So they had approached us and said, "Look, is there an opportunity for us to combine 5 markets into one unified application and get 5 quotes for quote bind and issuance through these 5 different markets?" And so it was kind of a tall order, but what you're looking at here on the screen is exactly that. So um, these 5 markets, so one of them is an internal, it's a Lloyd's binder that they've got the delegated authority for. Beasley's BBR product, this talks to the Beasley API, Coalition, which we all know, again, talking to their API, CFC, and Everest. And so we were able to take all 5 applications, again, because this is a dynamic application form, dependent on which markets we add or delete, you'll see the application form changes. So again, because it's a dynamic application, as you add markets, you'll see the question set changes, right? And so this is now the ability to get 5 quotes in one standardized application. You go through the app, you answer the questions. This application can also be shared externally with the client. So they've elected to only share a part of the application because they knew that in a cyber world, most of these questions the broker is not going to be able to answer, especially risk-related questions, cyber risk-related questions. So they actually share these questions with the broker, with the client. I'm sorry, the client only sees this part of the application. They answer this part, and then it comes back into the platform, and then they go and get a quote. It's missing some fields. I'm going to just fill in some of these fields here just to show you the quote, trade type, business type, corp, number of US employees before. Just answer no to a bunch of these questions. When I deleted the markets, even though I had answered these questions before, it made me re-answer it. But again, this is in a dev environment, and I'll just put admitted. Answer some of these questions really quick because I think this is a really cool app to show. No, get quotes. Okay, so what you're going to see here is it's now going to talk to all of the markets and get quotes out. So this is their binder, so it's getting a price from within the platform. This is talking to the Beasley API, the Coalition API, CFC, and you can see as the rates are coming in, it's starting to populate. These two were declined. You can kind of click and see, why was this one declined? Well, it was declined because account has a different broker of record. That was kind of the response back from the market. This one here, no broker agency found because it's a dummy quote, but they can quote, bind, and issue with any of these markets. You can see individual prices. You can see different packages within each one. So if I want to look at different, well, Coalition was declined. If I want to look at different Everest packages or CFC packages, this one here, one includes, I think, it'll have different limits or different options. But that it's pretty cool how configurable we can make the platform, even with something as complex as cyber. And again, it can it can pretty much handle any kind of product line. So again, this is the what I was kind of showing there. That is the kind of the quoting and the binding. I'm going to switch real quick now to show the CRM side of the world. Actually, I didn't want this screen here. I wanted this one to show the CRM side of the world, because this does act as a CRM as well. You can have all your clients in here. The system does Sysio download, so it handles Sysio download. So all of your client records can be in here. You can create the client records in here as well. I'm going to show you kind of a more complete client record. Here we go, Jimmy Smith. So this is what the client record screen looks like, right? You get all your client information right here. If the client has any active policies, they would show here right away. If there are any requests, all right, or abeyances, open activities, all your requests would be here, very specific requests. If there was a quote request, a change request, or whatever. Your activities are all here as well. Any recent activities that happened in on the system. If you go into activities, you can kind of see, I was just kind of demoing. We've done quite a few demos. Here's some of the activities here. Recording an activity is really simple. You put in your activity there, give it a name, give it an activity type. One of the cool things that we did here too, which is kind of unique, in most of the BMS systems right now, abeyances and activities are separate from files. So what you don't get is the context between the activity and the file. So usually brokers have to switch from one screen to the other. Oh, here's the activity. Let me go find the associated file and whatnot. In this case, you can actually attach a file right to an activity, or you can drag and drop it right in here as well. That file will still be saved in the file section up here, but it associates it with that very specific activity as well. One of the cool features that we built out is this activity screen is also an email screen. So you can kind of see here, we've written out some emails here. You can create an email right from within the platform as the activity. That email will go to the client, and if the client responds back to the activity or that email, it actually creates sub-activity underneath it. So you kind of get that natural organic flow of the activity or the request and everything that's happened with it. We are going to be integrating it with Office 365. It is in our roadmap, so you kind of get all of that living here as well, similar to what you would see with HubSpot and with other CRMs. So you can manage literally everything from here. The win there is if you have an employee that leaves or anything like that, you don't have to fish through their emails or anything like that. All their emails, the activities related to the client file are automatically saved here as well. Excuse me. You can see all the requests. Again, any request that was done by the client. And if you want to just go to that request, because it's an open request and you want to see what's going on, you can simply go straight into that request right there. You'll see all the policies here. Again, it's we do capture all the Sysio downloads. It's something we've done for years, and it is a really complete download. So we actually get information here that most of you wouldn't even get in your BMS, such as the payment information. We'll collect all the payment information, and it'll be right there as well. You can click right to the policy doc. I don't think there's a policy doc there. Maybe there is. I don't know what's actually there. So we'll open that up. So we'll see what that policy doc is. You get to see all the files. You can attach files here. Adding a file is really simple, where you can you name it, you tag it, what it is. You can relate it to a policy, or you can relate it to a specific request. Drag and drop it, and it is it's there and saved. Even payment information, you can create invoices right through the platform. You can generate invoices through here. You can create payment plans. We are integrating with IPFS and with First, so you'll be able to create a payment plan right through here. You can save different payment methods, such as tokenizing credit cards and whatnot, so you've got backup payments for clients. It has full communication capabilities built into it, so full email functionality, like marketing email capabilities. SMS is coming by the end of summer, so bi-directional SMS is getting built in. Plus, if you've got the mobile app, you can do push notifications right through there. Full reporting functionality. Most of you would have seen a lot of our reporting functionality that we have through the platform. That's it in a nutshell. I know I kind of went through it really, really fast. It is the cool thing about it is that the platform isn't just out of the box. There are certain elements that are kind of out of the box, but the way we designed the platform is the entire platform is fully configurable to your brokerage. So we, at the outset of implementing TruMarket, we kind of look at what are your business processes, your workflows. How do you manage your business? Do you have, a second pair of eyes that look at certain applications? Do you like a quality process or whatnot, or do you need it to go to an admin person to enter information into another system? We do upload to the carriers as well. So most of those carriers that we were talking about with PL, it does create that instance in their portal, so you can go in and bind the policy from there. But if you needed to enter into another portal or you need to enter into another system, goes to an admin person. We configure that entire workflow for you, including the automation of email messages. You wouldn't have seen this, but at the outset, when I created the first quote here for Erin on the platform here, she would have got an email as soon as it said thank you for your quote. Erin would have got an email that said, your quote has been submitted to Best Insurance. Someone will get in touch with you shortly. We control all those trigger automations, those emails. You can trigger automate in the renewal process. So as when the renewal comes in, or do you want to notify the broker? We create notifications in the system. So hey, this renewal came in for you, and the policy went up by 15%. Go in and take a look at it. Um, Fully configurable. So we would configure it based on your brokerage, how you manage it. The only thing that's not in here that we're not really going to tackle probably till early next year is accounting capabilities. That is something that we are going to integrate with a third party. We don't really have the inclination to build accounting into the system because there are accounting systems that do accounting much better. We're probably going to be integrating with a QuickBooks or a Sage. We can integrate with really any kind of. We've integrated with other enterprise level accounting systems for some of the larger brokers that we've implemented this for. Even telephony systems. We are integrating, our first integration will be with Jazz Communications. So bringing in the phone calls right into the client file. Again, being able to text, bi-directional text, and capture that into the client file. Pop up as soon as the client calls. If the phone number matches a client record, those files the client file will pop up. A lot of that functionality is already stuff that we are it's in our roadmap to build in the near term. So that's TruMarket in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions or anything I can answer for you? I wonder if there's a question here that I think a couple that I missed. Dan asked, are there extra fees for the Opta or CGI integrations? No, most of those integrations are like Opta, for example. Most of the polls for Opta are paid for by the carriers, and we kind of just embed that integration in there. CGI, if you've got an arrangement with the carriers to charge it back to them, the way the platform works is it'll look at what your bind ratio was for the previous month, and it'll adjust, how it charges the carriers back based on your bind ratio. So it's not, so we kind of handle it on the back end. But with the upcoming Dash integration, you won't be charged. Like there's no charges for those CGI pulls through Dash, and we'll pull the information in. And there's no charge associated with it at all. So I hope that answers your question, Dan. Another question here from Ken. Is this being recorded? Yes. Thanks, Ken, for the thumbs up. And yes, it is being recorded. We'll get it to you. Another question from Amanda. How many other brokers have adopted it? We probably have about 20 brokerages, but adoption is kind of a broad term. Because it's such a broad system, we have brokerages that have adopted it just for lead management. Some have adopted it for lead management and CRM. Some have adopted it that have brought custom programs onto the platform. We have a brokerage in Canada. They'd be, again, one of the larger brokerages. They manage an entire program, which is about 3 million in revenue on the platform with all the automation and kind of everything behind it. And the entire program is being managed by half a person. We've got this other brokerage that I showed the demo on for cyber. We have a 5-year plan with them that they're putting on their entire Lloyd's portfolio onto the platform. And because they're a global brokerage, it's actually being released to their offices globally. So the system does handle multi-currency, multi-language, multi-tenancy even. Kind of all handles that already. Plus, we have brokerages in Canada. 3 brokers so far that have signed on. We just released the home and auto rating in April, so we're only a couple months in. We've got 3 brokerages that are going live with it, and we have a pretty healthy backlog of brokers that want to get on it. So I hope that helps answer your question, Amanda. Just kind of depends on how they've implemented it. Any other questions on the platform? you've got me for another 9 minutes, so I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. You're welcome. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like there are any more questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining the demo. I appreciate it, and most of you will have my contact information. So please, if you've got any questions or anything like that, happy to do it. Matt just asked another question. Could I do a quick demo of the renewal tool? Um, I don't have enough time. I need a little bit of time to showcase the renewal tool. But Matt, if you reach out to me, I'm happy to spend half an hour with you and show you the demo tool. It's a pretty wild tool. It's being used by a lot of brokerages right now. We're pretty proud of it. Yeah, it's a cool tool. So love to show that to you, Matt. Thanks everyone for joining. And we will again, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.